Hey, hey, hey. Ooh, excuse me. We're back. We're black. We're brown ambition. Hey, nigga.
Ambition.
Ambition.
Ambition. Hey, Tiffany. Long time no see.
How are ya?
How you doing? I'm hot. Like literally my glasses, if you're on YouTube, look what you're missing. My glasses are so fogged up because I just came from my hot ass upstairs to my basement, which is so nice and cool. And yeah, science lesson for you. Your glasses will fog up.
Condensation.
But doing good. I made a fresh little watermelon mint feta salad.
Oh, a salad.
Makes me feel fancy.
It looks good. I'm not really good.
Yeah.
I'm not really a watermelon girl unless it's like that. Like I love it when it's like I've had one of these kind of like minty whatever, and I'm like, ooh, this is good. But
mint feta watermelon with a little bit of balsamic.
Oh, sounds delicious.
It'll make you feel so fancy, and it's nice on like a hot ass day.
Yeah,
just to have something cold.
Like watermelon, it has to be ice cold if it's going to be by itself. Watermelon,
no, a warm watermelon. Oof. Do you know I went to a farm and they were giving out tastes, and obviously the watermelon was just picked.
Yeah,
it's been sitting in the hot sun. It makes it sweeter. But I was like, this feels like it just felt wrong.
Yes,
like it just should not be eaten warm.
It's got to be cold watermelon.
Well, tell you the price of fruit like seriously impacts families with children, because my children love their fruit. And they would like organic, if you please, because it's sweeter and juicier. And if I try to cheap them off with like the, 2 for $4 containers of blackberries and blueberries or whatever, they're like, no, thank you. It's a bit sour. Could you?
It's really a thing.
Go back and get the good Driscolls.
I saw a post where someone said, parents whose children are going through the fruit phase, how broke are you? I didn't know there was a fruit phase.
It just never ends. It's like always. And now Remy likes strawberries. He didn't like strawberries, and now he likes them. And I'm like, fudge. They're so pricey, especially when it's the off season. Listen, y'all got to buy that frozen. Buy it frozen, you'll save more money.
But how do you get frozen strawberries?
Well, frozen vegetables. Okay. Obviously, it's not good to eat. They're all like mushy and stuff. But my savings hack is that all the veggies that they eat are pretty much frozen organic.
Okay.
Because you can steam them. And but the fruit is where I splurge, because they love watermelon. Oh my God, Remy, that baby can eat his weight in some watermelon. And he'll be like dripping down to his elbows. I just take his shirt off and let him rock. I'm like,
isn't that?
He'll be free, little watermelon.
It's like these babies read like they're like the manual, right? They're like, okay, so now that I'm in the fruit phase, couldn't believe it, because I know fruit is so expensive. They're like, this fruit phase. Yeah. No, I want blueberries with, of course, it's got to be the most expensive food. Nobody wants cantaloupe. Yes. Nobody wants honeydew.
No. And to be fair,
why?
I know. Why do we even bother?
Yeah.
But 'tis the season for that. Gosh, we talked a little bit. Yesterday.
4th of July. Well, we don't claim 4th of July. So how did you spend?
We have our July 4th.
Yes. How did you spend? I went to the shore for the full week. This is like maybe my 4th or 5th year doing this, like going to the shore.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily for the 4th of July, but every summer for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been going to the shore, rent to Airbnb. And in the beginning, I did it just to go by myself. But then even during that time, I invited my sisters for one day. And then I think Cabral came down, and then I realized, I like this. So now I rent for a week and have a rotation of family and friends that come through. And so it's like such a great tradition, but I said, what's happening? It was so pricey. Like,
I was going to say, do you have like the one place that you go to each year, or do you keep upgrading?
Well, there is this one place that I used to go to, but they were booked because, of course, I waited till the last minute. And so, unfortunately, Greg was booked. I was like, no, Greg, no. Because, maybe I shouldn't use his name. Either way, I've said it. So
Greg, come on.
No, here's why. Only because after staying there for like 2 years straight, Greg's like, well, I know you're not crazy and you keep the place clean and you're great. So why don't we take this offline, girl? I said, let's do it, which is a risk, meaning that I can just rent directly from him, save a few $100, which is what we've been doing, which is great.
He probably saves money too.
Yeah. So of course he makes more, because I don't know how much Airbnb takes. Let's just say 20-30%. I don't think we necessarily.
That's cray.
I know. I don't. Well, to be fair, I'm not sure. I think they take maybe 15%. Girl, I don't know. But either
I'll have to
way,
ask my brother. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm curious what percentage does Airbnb take? So he did, lets me save, I don't know, $500-$600, which is not a little bit of money. So I called him. Well, I have his number, so we text, and I was like, "Oh, it's that time of year again." He was like, "Oh, Tiffany, told you to book early." So that week, 4th of July was taken, so I had to stay at another place. And let me see how much it cost a night.
He should have given you a heads up when someone tried to book. You should have been like,
well, he's like, girl, we're trying to make money, not friends. I know. I know. Oh, but so Greg's place is 5 bedrooms. This new place that I booked was 8 bedrooms. And it, from the pictures, looked very beautiful.
Ooh, I know this is going.
It was, so it's an older home, and actually his name is not Greg. Of course his name is not Greg. So good I didn't say your name. But I was like, of course, I just used this a nondescript white boy name, but that's not his name. It was, so one, they use this company called Evolve, I guess, okay. That's I guess it's one of these I guess they must be like a management company. And so what I didn't like is that they don't respond to any messages, because I have a friend of mine that has some mobility challenges, and I wanted to make sure, because what I liked about Greg's house is that there's a bedroom on the first floor. And I said, with 8 bedrooms, I'm hoping there's at least 1 bedroom on the first floor. Plus my dad is going to come. He's 84. I'd like that too. So they did not write back to me. I booked it, but it took a month, and they didn't write back until a week before, we were scheduled to check in.
Oh, that's
yeah. So I was like, mark off that. 2, although the location, excellent. And the outside of the house is giving 10 out of 10, but it's an older home. And I do my nosy little research. What I found is that this couple who owns this home, he's a corporate banker. I think he's retired, and she's a flight attendant.
I thought you were going to be like, they bought the house for such and such, but details about the owner.
Well, no, they had a little book where they told you their business, where they're like, "Hi, I'm such and such. I'm a corporate banker. This is my wife, Susan, not her real name. And I'm a flight attendant. We're retired, blah, blah, blah." So I was like, yeah. So I looked up one of my friends, Rihanna, who came to stay with her family, Rihanna, Jermaine, and Olivia. They came, for a few days to stay. Rihanna's a realtor, and also she's the one who who did all the design and stuff for my house. And so she's like, "Ooh, let's see how much they paid for this house." So they paid over $1 million, girl. For this house. I mean, it looks like worth it, especially for Jersey, near the shore, 3 blocks from the beach. But the problem is, so they bought it last year. So it's not their quote unquote fault, but whoever had the house before didn't do some basic maintenance with an older home. So this home was built in the 18-something hundreds. That's according to, their little booklet. So my house now where I live, was built about 100 years ago, a little over. I think my house was built in 1919. And this house was built in the 1800s. And somebody's just now getting to fixing the foundation. So the house was leaning. Girl, there were definitely parts of the house where I'm like, realtors will call it the marble test, where you put a marble and you're like, "Ooh, no." And so Jermaine, who is an engineer by trade, Rihanna's husband, he was like, "Let me see these pilings." He was like, "It's a joist issue." So it was, there are definitely parts of the house. So it didn't feel like it was like, the house is huge. So it didn't feel like it was like actively shifting, but definitely I'm like, they knew the house was leaning, girl, because every dresser had how you put sticks or whatever to even out. Every room had something where they were evening it out. And so it made it a little uncomfortable, especially people with mobility issues. I said, you knew your house was leaning before you put it on this. And so that was one. Yeah. And it just, I don't know. I felt like it wasn't as comfortable as the pictures would suggest, of course. One thing I will say about Greg's listing, you could tell he's just some man. He just snapped the pictures as is, girl. When you walked in, you're like, oh, it doesn't look fancy, the old house where I rented, before. It looks exactly like there was no surprises. This house looked, I'm going to send you the link.
Because they got those good Airbnb photographers.
So I said,
good lenses.
Yes. So I prefer, let me just know for real. Because when you got in there, you're like, it does look like this, but not really. I just
like online dating when, the guys put a hat on.
Yes.
And I love a baldy. I think it's sexy AF.
Yes.
But when you hide it,
I'm eventually going to see your face and your,
Like, and then when you meet on, it's just like, why set yourself up to be played?
Yes.
Like to disappoint.
Do you have your phone with you? Take a look. I just sent you like the link to you don't have it with you?
Ooh, we're live.
Yes, do it. Take a look. So it's not giving all that it's showing here. Girl, it looks amazing here, doesn't it? Mm. So anyway, they're going to be getting a 3-star review.
It does look amazing.
Girl, I was so excited.
Stunning.
It's not giving stunning. It's
very like cozy and
yeah, it wasn't the worst. It was
comfy.
I give it a 3, a solid 3. You know, certainly wasn't the worst. But for what I paid, so let's see like what I paid. So all in all, like, and meanwhile, they have really great reviews. 4.92. I said, maybe these people just have, low standards.
Probably, and you were with an interior designer.
Yeah.
But do you think without even them, you would have noticed? Like,
because my sister was like, "Why is this house leaning? What about and I was
like, "That's some minstrel art right there. What's on that piano? What's on that piano?
That's exactly,
I can only see the backs of their heads.
It is minstrel art, girl. Yes.
These people is black.
No, no, very much not.
Why didn't you mention that? Because that is what's. I'm so sorry we bumped into your piano and these
black
priceless artifacts of racism.
Tracy was like, "What in the country, girl? That whole room, I guess." So
you said it was built in
1800s, but the woman I believe that is a European, like like from Spain or whatever. So this whole room was all black people in this room. I guess that's their music room. So it's like, it was giving very much.
And I'm still like confused.
I was too. I was like, okay, it was a lot. Josephine Baker, every black.
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, the size of the house was a good size. The location was great. Externally, it was great. You could tell back in the day, this house was a stunner. It just unfortunately has not been taken care of in a way. Like all the floors were new and this and that. And it was like, yeah, but the house is leaning. And so just so you know, because we're going to be honest about cost. So let me see like what they're currently charging for now. Let me see. Does it show like how much it is per night? I'm just trying to see.
It does.
Let me see. You have to do a minimum of 7 stays. Oh, so
7 days?
7, like a 7 stay, 7 days. I'm sorry. Yes. And so right now, if you were to do 7 days, it's $7,836. And so when it's all, I know. So when it all shook out for me, it was about like with taxes and everything else, about $8,000, give or take.
God dang.
So it was not a little bit of money. And so normally
that's a lot of money.
I know. So for Greg's house, I usually pay, I want to say about $5,500. So it was more. And they're same amount of distance from the beach. This one is in Asbury Park. That one was in...
and that's their income for 1 week of a visitor. So if they have the whole place booked out, god damn.
I know. Well, usually you have to think summertime because it is the Jersey Shore. So people are not... Yeah. And not to say nobody books in the summer. I mean, nobody books in the winter. So yeah, but you figure, let's just say it's $8,000 a week for, I don't know how many weeks in the summer. 12 weeks? How much is that?
Yeah. Wait, what?
How much is, because I like to run people's pockets.
Wait, 8,000 times 12 is like 96,000?
No. 8
times 12 is 96. Yeah.
These people are making it bag.
Yeah. They sure is. So did you write a review?
No, but I am finna write a review. I just got back yesterday.
You should. People should know.
Yeah.
People should know.
Remember we talked
about
that
much money. I want
perfection.
I don't know about perfection because I think even rich people got problems. You know what I mean? They can control everything. But a creaky foundation and like little pieces of cardboard propping up furniture is pretty like broke bitch. And then also the minstrel art is really that's like a hot flaming red flag in the middle of all of this. And I wouldn't mind putting that in there. Like if you're going to have, if you're going to be an Airbnb property, and Airbnb caught a lot of shit for being, for Black people not being able to get, to find rentals as easily, like Black travelers. And they used to call it, wait, isn't there now? What was it? That's why all these like travel noir, these Black focused travel companies, are really important, but they caught a lot of shit for that before George Floyd. I think it was before that whole summer of reckoning. And so I would honestly, I'd be like, you guys need to know that this is uncomfortable. Yeah. We are a Black family. Our money is just as good as anyone else's. And this makes us feel like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it would make me feel very uncomfortable. No,
because Tracy was like, everyone said, they're like, do Black people live here? Like before I start to do Black people live here?
Yeah.
I was like, no, here's the guest book. Here is these two very, very, very non-Black people. They're like, oh, well then, yeah, what the hell is this? So
even if they did, like, even if we did, I wouldn't have.
I feel like Black people wouldn't have minstrel art.
No. I'm thinking about when I bought my house and I walked in, I knew a Black family lived here because they had this really adorable, like, Black husband and wife, like, salt and pepper shakers.
Aww.
And they looked kind of like Aunt Jemima-y, which, you know, is a little, but that's not really fair because I know my family, like a lot of my elder relatives, they do have like little trinkets and stuff that are minstrelly, but
I know.
They thought they were doing something with that being the centerpiece on that giant piano.
Girl,
you know?
Because I told you that whole room was nothing but Black faces on the wall.
Yeah. That's giving. I don't like it.
Yeah. So
I don't like it. Write that review, babes. Make it. How many stars are you thinking?
I'm thinking 3. Only because that the physical, like outside was great. The location was perfect. It was literally right next to like a 10-minute walk if you wanted to go downtown with all the restaurants, another 7-minute walk to the beach. The neighborhood was beautiful. You know, and externally the house was giving 10 out of 10. You could tell it's a beautiful, I love a historic home. It's a beautiful historic home. So I felt like a strong 3 felt fair.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, so I'm still on the search because I feel like one thing I will say that I did like better is that the fact that it was 8 bedrooms because everyone was really comfortable. So I would like to find, I'm going to keep searching. Like, you know, if not, you know, I can always go back to Greg. But I would like to find a place that, you know, is, you know, gives the amount of bedrooms. But ideally, I would like at least 1 bedroom on the first floor because it's the same people that come with me and I want them to feel really comfortable. My friend who came with us that, you know, had the mobility challenges, she said the stairs were at least wider and they weren't like really, it wasn't a high pitch. So she was able to manage. And thankfully they did have a full bathroom on the first floor. So that was great. So she was like, okay. You know, so, but, you know, ideally.
But then like if you had booked it and then you hadn't known,
girl,
you know, because I think that corporate feel of Airbnb is what makes it. So when I just booked an Airbnb for myself because I'm going to California later this month. And I really try to look for an individual owner because there are so many. They were literally hotels that I had just priced on Airbnb. I was like, this room looks familiar. What? And it'd be like a different price point than what they had on their website. And I think that's so shicey. I don't know why Airbnb allows that. I mean, I know why, because they will take their money any way they can. Just like DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff, they get a cut from businesses that advertise on their site. But I really wanted to find an individual owner. I like to have someone who's like, I'm a woman traveling alone. I like to know that someone's like, I like the idea of being in the guest house. There's like someone in the, you know, the regular house and all of that. But there is this like huge, I mean, it's been happening for years, but the corporatization of Airbnb, for me, it's still unique because you can find those gems that are owned by, we have this beautiful place, property that we rent every summer in the Catskills. And we do feel like the owners have become friends and, you know, and it's very like familiar in that way. And it takes away, I think that was the spirit of Airbnb in the beginning. Well, Dan, the real spirit was literally an airbed on the floor. But anyhow, and I just saw that in Barcelona, they're literally today, this is on Monday, but by the time you guys hear it, you can look this up. In Barcelona, there are locals throwing things at tourists right now. Like throwing things at them while they're eating and spraying them with water to protest against this rise in tourism, because it's not just affecting, you know, it's not just like clogging up their neighborhoods, it's also running up home prices. So there's been like not just home prices, rent prices. I think I saw it was something like 60% increase in housing prices in Barcelona, and tourism is one of the big things. But be careful out there because the people are fighting back.
Yeah. Because it's like, what do you do? Right? Because you want to go to places and you want to enjoy them, but at the same time, you don't want to displace people who live there. You know?
I think, well, and I don't think that's the right thing to do at all. No. It's not like travelers are always going to want to explore new places. I think what they were really protesting is, like I said, these corporations that are buying up all these properties and flipping them. Like you're a rich banker person who could afford $1 million house in this economy. And so the housing market, is competitive for them because they have the dollars. But for those of us who want to own something because they're willing to pay so much and then use these, and they can justify the price because they're going to be making $96,000 over a few months, they can justify that. Whereas just a family who wants a humble 8-person home, 8-bedroom house on the beach in Jersey, but like just a family, you can't really justify that or be able to afford it. So I understand it, but obviously like it's not nice to throw things at tourists because we are also, I feel like, at the mercy of what's available. And if Airbnb is letting these corporations fucking like advertise their properties, then that's what it is.
And it's so bad because like it's so crazy because I never would have thought I'd see the day where corporations enter into the single family home market. Because they used to tell you before, like I remember when I first started to look to purchase a home and I thought, oh, maybe I'll invest in real estate. It was like every single book said the worst investment that you can make is a single family home. Now, if you want to buy a single family home for yourself, because this is primary, like where your primary residence, fine. But as an investor in real estate, that's the worst investment. That was like branded, tattooed. This is what the girls are saying. And now the fact that corporations are getting into single family homes, it's crazy. Like, they changed the Airbnb rule in New York because it's like, oh, there's not enough, apartments or homes or whatever available for regular people. And so of course, really it's just hotels lobbying. And so they made they changed what could be an Airbnb. And so very few people made the cut. So a friend of mine owns a bunch. We actually had him on the show. His name is Jude. A friend of mine has a bunch of properties in Brooklyn that he started buying. He was born and raised in Brooklyn. I don't think he was born. I think he's Haitian. I think he was born in Haiti. Either way, he has a bunch of properties in Brooklyn that he started buying in his 20s. And so he said that he, in the beginning, was very conscious about making sure that his properties were purchased, that the ones that he Airbnb'd in a specific type of way. So he was like, wow, I'm so glad I did that because when they changed the rule, it didn't affect me because all my homes follow the rules. And, he's like, it's not that now more people have places to buy and live. What it just means now is that hotels are just now charging more because they're like, hey, you can't Airbnb anymore. We're just going to charge more, and so it's just such an interesting,
Just in New York, I was wondering what the law was, and it came into place last year. It bans, so this is what made Airbnb really impossible or almost impossible for companies because you have to register with New York, and only those who live in the place they're renting and are present when someone is staying can qualify. And people can only have 2 guests. So that rental in Jersey is not even like legal. And I think, let me make sure.
Wait, even in New Jersey?
Is different. This is in New York City.
Okay.
No. I'm just saying like where you were, that was fine. But if they wanted to do that in New York City, that would be illegal because you would only have 2 guests. Oh man. I mean, and I'm not mad at that because like New York City was hard to find a place in before Airbnb. Like, could I have afforded when I moved here in 2010, I was living in Astoria, which was not the cute and sexy, place that it is now where all the actors and artists live in Astoria. And it's like this bustling, hot neighborhood. Back then it was like, you live in Queens. But basically be like fucking commuting from Philly. I feel like
Queens
or thereabouts to work in New York now. It's wild. Yeah.
It's just it's so crazy, right? These are just crazy times because you're right. How things start versus how they finish. Like people literally people have fleets of cars for Uber. I'm like, wait, what? That was never the case. Whereas before it was just like, hey, I got a car and I can make some extra money. Yeah.
Corporate greed is real.
Yes.
And if I had $1 billion company, it's going to be really hard to not want to take it and go public and, be on Wall Street. And then the founders go fly a kite somewhere, fly a golden kite. And they have forever changed the economy. Yeah. And we're still dealing with the after effects. I mean, it's, crazy.
Oh, child.
But the salad is so good.
Oh, child. Even now, I'm currently, I told you about that time. I told you I moved. I use
dualities, good salad, corporate greed. 2 things can be true.
I used the mom and pop. No, remember I told you how I moved and I had to use piece of cake moving company because we say names around here.
They're like a piece of shit.
Anyway, I got my money.
They really set themselves up for that joke. You know what I mean? I had to do it. I had to say it.
Well, I got my money back from them, so I will say.
Excellent.
And so, but they left things like my bed and some other things. So I hired a local mover, it's literally called Two Guys with a Truck, which I'm like, yes, I love that. So they were here today and they were great. And so, just thinking about, I will say though, the cost that I thought I was saving with the, what I basically paid the piece of cake,
the piece of crap.
Yes. It's like what I'm paying for these guys moving. And I'm like, oh, so
they have very clever ways of pricing things so that you feel like, but is it because when they got there, they were like, oh, this is way more work. This price is going to be higher.
No. So it's like, so for a piece of cake or whatever, it was maybe like $900, I want to say, but that was to pack up each room. Like literally they packed up all my clothes, put it in boxes, Yeah. And so that was like $900, which, that was for my bedroom, Alyssa's bedroom.
The whole house.
Yeah, the whole house. Well, not the kitchen, because, my sister's going to live here. But so I was like, okay, $900. And then to move it and then to put it away, not put it away, just put the boxes up. And so that was about $900, right? But these guys, they're moving my mattress, Alyssa's mattress, some chairs, nothing crazy. And that's like $800. And I'm like, well, damn. It's significantly less stuff that they're moving. So basically, I guess, I didn't have to, Pizza Cake gave me my money back. But I'm having to give it right to these people, which is fine. But I'm just really shocked at pricing. Because what it tells me is that piece of cake, I wasn't sure because how often do you move? I wasn't sure price wise what was fair. And so now I'm like, piece of cake pricing actually isn't bad. It's just not to me a good service. But the pricing, yes, the pricing isn't bad because this is what these guys are charging me for relatively way less work.
How many hours of work do they do for
So $800 or eight something is for about 3 hours worth of work.
For two dudes
to move stuff, and so piece of cake, they didn't charge by the hour. It was more so how many rooms and what else. And that would have included my mattresses, all the stuff, the chairs, everything else. And to pack up, I think 3 different rooms and to completely pack my office, my bedroom, actually my Oasis room, which is basically like a nursery next to my bedroom that I turned it to Oasis and Alyssa's room. So to pack up 4 rooms and to bring all the heavy furniture, that was $900, which is pretty good. Well, that's the price they quoted me. Who knows what it, would have shaken out to be. But I got that money back only to turn around to give it to these guys who, for 3 hours, it's basically $800 or $850 or something like that.
And they did less technically.
Yeah. So I'm just okay.
That's a piece I wasn't connecting the
Yeah.
dots
So I was just just curious about moving prices. All in all, net, you got to pay to move, but I'm not mad. People charge what you want to charge.
I think they also know. Thank God you weren't doing a cross country move because the horror stories that
people stealing your stuff.
Just fucking for losing it. My mom had all her. Did she ever get her stuff back? Because she's had so many cross country moves. Laura doesn't be on the move, y'all. She's like, oh, I don't know where you get your adventurism from, and I'm like, Mom, you be on the move.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's funny.
I was gonna make a husband's joke, but she listens, so I can't do it. Thanks, Mom.
Oh well, I don't know if y'all got moving stories you want to share with us. Or Airbnb stories, or if you know an amazing Airbnb.
Oh yeah, Airbnb stories, yes. Nightmares.
I would, yes, I would love, I'm
sure you have some.
I will say net, even though $8,000, obviously a lot of money. But if I were to have bought or paid for specific rooms, it's significantly less than 8 bedrooms for a whole week times how many people.
Oh yeah,
So,
and I think they expect you to split the expense, I guess. But so do you, when you invite friends, for example, do they chip in?
No, I just say, just come, just come.
Oh, that's so.
Honestly, my ideal would be to rent a house for 2 weeks to a month and just be everybody come, Mandy, bring the kid. To me, that is what the money is for. Y'all know I'm I'm always wearing my Target's best. This is actually this is either Target or Marshalls that I'm wearing right now. Definitely the pants are Marshalls.
Yes, you spend the money where.
Yes, for me that's value. Meaningful, And obviously, not the $8,000 is not a little bit of money. Oh my gosh. hold on, Mandy. This is like my moving company. I'm gonna make sure they're okay. Yeah, the joys of moving. They're trying to get my refrigerator.
Why would you take a door off? Could it not fit through the door?
No, with the old building, it's so tricky. You know, they didn't expect us to be gluttonous and have this big stuff. And so when I
was just telling Enrique, I'm like, we need another refrigerator.
And it's just
I'm turning it to my mother.
And so it's like, yeah, I don't.
Just when I go to people's houses, I'm like, where do you keep this? They're like, oh, it's in the other fridge. And I'm like, duh, not me fighting with my fridge every day.
We don't need that much
Being
stuff.
Like, I'm like Hermione and Harry Potter with the bag, you know, like where she has the bag and it's just a small bag and it's like, oh, but the entire world's in there. Yes. That's my refrigerator. My husband's like, babe, it won't fit. I'm like, roll up the sleeves. Get the Crisco out. Grease up my elbows because that shit's gonna
make
fit.
it fit. I know.
We're gonna make it fit.
So moving. Sometimes, you know, you just have to close your eyes and say, it's gonna cost. That's all you can do.
At the end of the day,
it's gonna cost you.
It's gonna end.
Yes.
It's time for the brown booze, brown break. I don't know the song, so
and now
Tiffany.
It's time to boost up, break
boost
up,
up.
boost
I do know the song.
I always forget. Are we gonna boost?
Are you gonna boost?
Are we gonna break? What you gonna do? What you gonna take? La 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 la. La 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 la. I like that one. You gonna boost or break? You wanna go first, second? How you wanna do it?
I'm gonna do a boosty boost because this was too cute. I love this couple. Elections. Oh, quick boost for France because they did not elect the far right. The far right people in France, the Trumpians, the Trompes de France. Trumpe, they did not win. And I think that this is really going to boost up, I think, those of us in the U.S. Because I know, Tiff, I don't want to put your business out there, but you've been saying things that lead me to believe you've given up on us.
I'm trying not to give up, but
we got this, girl. We got to believe. We have to show up to the polls because you know who was able to save France. Le people.
Le people. Le people save France.
Le people.
Vive la France.
La filles. L'hommes. Whatever. No, they really did. It was a record voter turnout.
Really?
And it just, yes. Okay. And so I think we can look to France. So in France, yeah, the far right, their elections work really differently. I won't pretend to know everything about it, but the fact that they were not able to gain a majority power in the country is incredible. And like I said, record voter turnout. Okay. I don't like the idea that we're feeling like, oh, it's whatever. It's out of our hands. Trump is this, Trump is that. I'm like, but it actually is and it has always been in our hands. Like we have ourselves to thank for the 4 years we had with Voldemort. And we will only have ourselves to thank if we give him another 4 years. And the only way we can do that is by losing that fire and losing that power that we have. We are truly, truly the ones who have the power. And when we forget that is when, and when we let ourselves forget it, and when they want us to forget it, to be honest. And I think I needed this surge in excitement. That was not my original brown boost, but I just, merci, France. Okay, but my real boost, that was a good one. My real boost is this couple. I brought up France because they're the Woodhalls on Instagram. And I saw this clip of them was going viral because the husband, he is a Paralympian. I think he's lost both of his legs. Okay. And she is a long jumper, like a track and field star. And they were celebrating after she made the Olympic team for track and field. And her long jump was just like exquisite. But this beautiful moment when they were hugging had gone viral. And I started to follow them on Instagram because they have like a joint account, which might be cringe to some, but I think it's really wholesome and cute because they're both athletes and he's a Paralympian. So if you haven't, just shout out to, what are their first and last names? Hold on a second. Tara Davis Woodhall and Hunter Woodhall, who are just the cutest couple. And I think they're both going to be in he's going to be in the Paralympics and she's going to be, in the other main Olympics, which is beautiful.
I love that.
In Paris.
I love that. Vive la France. Well, I'm going to boost as well. Because speaking of the White House, your girl got invited back. Okay. Yes, I am going.
They can't get enough of you.
Girl, I'm invited back. Actually, I'm going to the White House. And then the week after, I got invited to the vice president's house for Black people.
Oh.
Blacks in business. That's what they're calling it.
Are they going to be there? Is Kamala going to be there?
To talk to like Black business owners. So I'm going back.
Yes, because see what Mimi said?
Oh yeah, I know. She's like,
you're at the White House all the time.
First of all, even when I told her, she was like, I was telling her mother, she's like, so you're going back? Are you getting a tour? Because remember, she asked me to go, and I'm like, so now I got to go and beg them for a tour for her because she doesn't want to hear none of my crap.
You will not have to beg.
So I am going. So they're having. So here's what's happening: Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senator Elizabeth Warren, who I love, Senator Raphael Warnock, we all know. And Representative Ayanna Priestley, she's a woman who I think, she shaved her head because I don't know if it was cancer.
Presley.
Yes. And so Presley, yes. So they're having a congressional briefing on the state of student loan debt. So, so I'm excited because I get to discuss what's been done on student loan debt cancellation, guidance on eligibility for cancellation programs, and ways that we can best share a message around student loan debt. Honestly, so they're inviting a bunch of us. This actually is going to be pretty intimate, which I heard. I was like, okay. But we do.
I would love to get intimate with. I mean,
no. Oh my God! But they're not. Here's the thing.
I would love to be in an intimate setting. No. Also, no. I would love to talk to them. So, Schumer and Warren and Presley and Warnock. Really? That's amazing.
I know. I'm excited about that. What are you
going to say?
No, well, I'm here to listen and just say, this obviously affects so many of our people. So they've gotten smarter and smarter because look at the run of show, right? First, the optional Capitol tour, which I'm taking, much to Amelia's anger.
Why can't she go?
No, I think because you could just do a tour because there's more to it than this. And then there's a briefing on student loan debt cancellation. That comes next. And then welcome by members. And then literally they have it on the run of show, time for content creation, which I think is hilarious. They're like, take your TikToks. And then we're going to visit to the majority leader balcony and then build back together happy hour. So yeah, so I'm excited that, I get to go and learn more about student loan debt and bring it on back to y'all.
Bring it on back. Isn't that a Aretha Franklin song?
I don't know. Bring it on back. Bring it on back. Bring it on back to y'all.
That's going to bother me now. What is the lyric? Okay. That is awesome. And no student loan debt. So you guys are there. Are they going to be presenting to you or are they looking for y'all's input?
No, they're presenting to us. And they might ask questions, but to mainly say like, this is what's currently happening. This is what programs are available. Here's what eligibility looks like. Honestly, they just want us to spread the good word, obviously, which,
which is important.
Yeah.
And I think we should also know that's one thing that Biden, I don't think they even discussed student loans at the debate, but he has canceled a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, like a lot. So,
so keep an eye on my IG because I will be posting about it as it happens, like and sharing all statistics and things. And if you have questions, keep it cute though, because my blog game is strong.
If you're one of the people who've gotten those forgiveness or cancellation messages, some of my followers have, and I just can't imagine the feeling. But yeah, that's exciting, Tiff.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, we'll be back and blacker than ever.
See you guys for the BAQA. See us on Mondays for our Throwback Hollaback Monday episodes. So now 3 times BA every week.
I know. I love that for y'all.
I love that for you too. Oh, before we go, can I read a review?
Yes, please.
We have a couple of new ones. Y'all, these reviews, just every time I come and there's a few new reviews, it feels really special. I know that we love getting mail, snail mail with a thank you note, but these reviews make us feel genuinely so warm and fuzzy that you take the time to write such thoughtful reviews. Last time I shouted out, it's Tay. So today I will shout out, it's just 4 emojis. It's a rose, it's a kiss, mwah, it's a little heart, and it's a Black Power fist. All right. That's how I'm interpreting it. I don't know. And this is from, so the headline is just 3 fire emojis. I love it. They say, I love listening to Mandi and Tiffany. I love how they put an I at the end of your name too. Just, I have also utilized many of the free resources they offer on their websites, and I keep up with them on social media. Their insights on finances and career moves have given me more confidence to negotiate my salary and take charge of my financial health. Definitely recommend their podcast, 3 Exclamation marks.
Yes, we love that.
So nice. You guys, these reviews matter, not just to make us feel warm and fuzzy, but also just to help us with the ratings, our rankings, help other people find our show. So if you enjoy getting this show, which is free to you, baby, and has been for 9 whole years, little thing to do in return, as well as listening, is to leave us a review. We love it.
Yes.
So tell a friend, share, review, stream, all the things.
All right, until Friday. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, BA fam. We're on YouTube. Woohoo! Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
And while you're at it, why don't you go over to that little bell icon and just tap that for us. Show the BA fam how much you love us. And that way you'll also get notifications when new videos drop. Also, share the channel with a friend. We're always like, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And thank y'all so much again for all the support.